In a game with a lot of characters and abilities, there has to be a ton of ways to KO an enemy mini. So today, I decided to not touch grass for a while. Seriously, this is what I got when I told Moist the idea. And rank all 100 possible ways to get a KO. The bigger the reward or the more satisfying the kill is, the higher it will be. Something like the Battle Boxer, for example, has got to be all the way up there, and the kill with the skeleton guard is, well, just boring. First, we have the Cringe tier, which mostly consists of boring main attacks. Let's just skip through the first few ones, cause honestly all those minis would leave you more confused at the fact they got a kill rather than excited. Most main attacks are just weak punches or silly small sword stabs that realistically are barely even noticeable. After the melee main attacks, we have projectiles, which aren't that hype, but they do sound better and get progressively more satisfying the higher we go up on the list. At around Storm Wizard and Headhunter, the projectile starts looking better, followed by Inferno Warden and Ewiz, which their beams look as good as a main attack get to look. Next is the Ehhhhh tier, which consists mainly of boost abilities and weak supers. First one is the skeleton main attack, which might confuse you on why it's up here. To put it simply, skeletons come in groups, and seeing a bunch of skeletons swarming your enemy mini is honestly way better and more satisfying than anything in the Cringe tier. Then Chompy just bites. While he does attack fast, I'm rating kills, not attacks, so it doesn't matter. The heal comes from the attack, not the kill, so his skill just feels bland. And Hog Rider comes next. Since his main attack are pretty much not what you get him for, but rather the stun he does, the reason he isn't in Cringe tier is because the kills he will land will mostly be against backline, which is more valuable for you. And the same thing does apply for Prince. Then we got the Barbarian King main attack, which by itself would be cringe, but with the 3rd star upgrade, he can start dealing a ton of damage and get kills he isn't supposed to, which also applies on the Grand Warden's main attack, which gets buffed by his 3rd star to deal a ton of damage. And Natureborn has a similar 3rd upgrade, but I do feel like Natureborn one is more than the Barbarian King or the Warden simply because of the build up over time. For Pink Fury's main attack, I'd say it's mainly here instead of Cringe because the speed makes it satisfying. However, it's very unrewarding since the elixir is only gained from super kills. And the Dagger Thrower is another case of boast, which provides an extra attack speed that feels somewhat rewarding and satisfying. Then Battle Healer, which sounds weird, but hear me out. The 3rd ability triples her damage when injured, which pushes her to get that final blow on the enemy and start healing back up. Next is the Golden Giant super and the Musketeer super, which both have some cool effects, but I feel like they are rather weak and unrewarding, hence the lower tier placement. Decoy Adept straight up stole the Barbarian's old ability and made it better. With the heal upgrade, it makes it feel so rewarding whenever he gets a kill, since it can heal 2 targets. And the Monk's main attack is similar, but better. It's an amazing feeling when your Monk who's far away from his super gets a random kill to fill half of his super and also heal him a significant amount of HP. The Ice Wiz super is next, and while it's not hype, I do feel like it's way better than main attacks, obviously. If you get the splash upgrade on it, then it may by some chance take out more than one enemy. Ewiz super getting a kill is somewhat cool, but what carries it the most is when it gets multiple kills at once. Since the shocks are in sync, seeing multiple things flying off at the same time is very satisfying. Next, we have the Wave Master super. It's weird because the animation of the super itself just blends in with the kill and hides it. And besides that, I think the sound effect of the stun is more satisfying than the sound effect of the kill. Next is the mid tier, which mostly consists of clash abilities and some high value boost kills. Dagger Thrower's charged shot is the lowest on this tier. I think it's satisfying enough when it hits and kills someone to allow it to escape to the mid tier. Also, it leaves a small tiny little dagger on the board. Very cute. Then Mini P.E.K.K.A and his main attack does have specific circumstances. However, when you manage to get him to lock on a hero or a stunned mini, then it would feel like you really hit the jackpot. Giant's main attack is next here, especially since it deals double damage on round 5 and has a splash as an upgrade. Prince Clash comes next, and it's because it doesn't really kill often and is more of a displacement ability, but when it kills, it usually removes an important backline. Spear Goblin is placed above Prince mainly because if you want to get a kill with it, it deals the same damage but it also costs way less. Skeleton King's main attack is another case of a boost ability, however spawning a skeleton feels much more impactful or harmful if you're facing something like a magic archer. For Sailor's main attack, I don't have her, so not sure about it, but the boost specifically enhances the interaction with the witch, allowing her to one-shot skeletons and 2 shots upgraded skeletons. And Archer's main attack is a bit similar, however a little higher because it targets backline and can take out 2 minis at once at like rare circumstances. And Ghost's main attack is a bit higher since I feel like heals on Ghosts are usually more satisfying since it's instant gratification in the moment you get it, instead of a timed ability that gets smaller value over time. Next is the Storm Wizard Super. I may be doing it a disservice by ranking it this low considering how cool the super is, but honestly it's very anticlimactic and slow and doesn't feel satisfying. Bandit and Mega Knight Super come next, and they aren't really that satisfying unless on the rare case of clearing a bunch of minis like a ton of skeletons. Other than that, getting a kill with it just feels normal, I guess. And then we have the Decoy's Dummy Explosion, which is basically just a giant skeleton knockoff, but it still feels good enough to put on the mid tier. Bowler's Clash surprisingly is higher than Prince and Speed Goblin. Despite it being way lower on damage, it still can take out multiple 0-star things placed for synergy buffs, which literally satisfies your soul. Wavemaster's main attack by itself is lame, but with the second ability, the damage inflates so hard, making it a killing tool, and it killing multiple minis is just so cool. Next is the Fisherman Hook. I'm talking about the effect on the 3rd star, which makes anything twice as fun as it is, which is why I placed it on mid. Use something cringe with it and you get something that is half cringe. Pair something goated with it and you get the double goat results. Next is the Valkyrie's main attack. Shield Break, dealing 4 times damage to something, and the healing is always a great reward for kills, making it feel rewarding. Same goes for Swordsman's main attack, except it has 2 boosts. Besides the healing, he also gets his super fully charged, which deals a ridiculous amount of damage. Miner's main attack has 1 boost, but I'll tell you why it ranks higher. The speed on it is insane. It feels very rewarding when you get a kill with your miner. The energy drain becomes way more effective the higher the attack speed is, which synergizes so much with the boost upgrade on the miner. And after it, the Dark Prince main attack, because with the cleave you can cheese a few select minis in frenzy mode, which makes killing them this way feel somewhat like cheating. Hi, Future Abdude here, and I didn't rank the Clash ability on the Dark Prince because I didn't feel like it was worth it. Let me elaborate. The Dark Prince Clash ability deals 6 damage, and Archer is the lowest HP mini in the game, being 8 HP at 0 stars. Technically speaking, if you add another rider with the Dark Prince, the rider class buff gives +4 damage, which allow him to take out 6 whole minis at 0 stars out of all the minis in the game. Which, let's be honest, when is this ever gonna be happening? After it, the Dart Goblin's main attack, because honestly when you are using the Dart Goblin, it feels like you build your whole strategy around him, specifically around getting that first kill for the damage upgrade boost. Next is the Queen's main attack, which is another case of being carried by an upgrade. Landing a kill and seeing your queen deals almost 18 damage per 1 second is so magical. Then we have the Poncho, which barely deals any damage, but when it perma-stuns something and kills said something, it feels special somehow. The next 2 are low-key mixed in one, which are the Countess main attack and the Countess super. The reward of getting a kill can be a speed stack that stays the whole game, which makes it way more rewarding than other boosts. And I don't really have any strong feeling about what feels better between the super and the main attack, so I put them back to back together. The next tier is the based tier, which consists of people that subscribe, things that are capable of being the highlight of the match. Monk Super comes first because it's a 50-50. You either super some garbage and get disappointed, or you super a core mini and automatically win the game. Then we have the P.E.K.K.'s main attack, which is somewhat like a more consistent Monk Super. A kill with a critical hit, especially on the early round, can be really the highlight of your match. And right after we have the Executioner's main attack, which with the 3rd star upgrade, it can just suddenly out of the blue deals some insane damage to tanks. And after we have the Warden's Shield Explosion. One of my favorite applications to this is against Bandit or Countess, because while dashing around, you will see a bunch of shields popping and they suddenly will disappear. Right after is the Hotpot, which starts on a high note and gets progressively weaker, but nonetheless it still feels like a cool part of the round. Next, Diffuser, and its main attack can cheese things, which is so funny. There is no better feeling than having your Diffuser 1v1 something and kill it when it shouldn't, just because of the disarm. And all that also applies on the Pony, which I consider better than the Diffuser, because unlike disarm, it also interrupts supers instead of just interrupting attacks. Giant Skeleton's Death Bomb is just as based as he can get. The explosion just feels devastating, and it's a once in a round thing, yet it still always manages to feel special every round. Swordsman's Super is next, and it's for the same reason as his main attack, but I feel like the super is way better than the main attack. The Wizard's Super is like a giant skeleton bomb, except you can have like multiple ones per round. Isn't that just great? Next is the Shield Maiden's Super, and there's something different about making enemies kill themselves, especially since the Shield Maiden can heal back up very easily. Battle Machine's main attack is up here for the same reason as the Diffuser. However, he can disarm more frequently, which put him way higher than the Diffuser. Elixir Golem is a fun case. I was torn on where to put him, because on one hand his attack kinda sucks and doesn't feel special when he kills something, but on the other hand, give him enough elixir and you will have this. Next is Wavemaster Flip. The flip itself deals no damage, obviously, but the freedom it gives you is humongous. I am so sorry. And throwing things on backline will never get old. Right after that we have the Bowler's main attack. Specifically with the third upgrade, it's like a pony but ranged, and it's very funny to look at. Sharkbait's Super getting a kill is cool, because once it starts you see a big shark animation, then suddenly the minis disappear and are nowhere to be found. And next is the Headhunter, which has the ability to destroy heroes and gain a massive boost from that, along with the chance of knocking out multiple targets at the same time. Magic Archer's main attack is next, and dude just goes crazy with the stacks. I mean, just give him a few kills and see what happens. Dagger Goblin's main attack come up next, and the only reason he is above the Magic Archer is because his stack stays the entire game. If you use him, it feels like your main objective is to farm those, proving how rewarding they are. The only one better is Royal Champion's main attack, which is the exact same but more relevant since it's on a ranged hero instead of a squishy green marshmallow. Another stacking one next, and it's the Sailor. Stacking infinitely can go wrong for your opponent so quick, it's honestly a little bit concerning at this point. Final based kill is the Pink Fury's Super, being a monk super but with the elixir, which makes supering garbage feels super good regardless. The final tier is the goated tier, which only the select few are allowed there. First one is the Skeleton King's Super, which if you get it right, think could straight up spawn a skeleton army, and it just feels very rewarding. Up after we have the Executioner's Super, which zips through almost the entire map, dealing insane damage, and when it kills, it both heals him and fill up his super bar a tiny bit. After that we have the Royal Champion's Super. Just like the main attack, stacking, if you get your super to stack and keep resetting, it literally feels satisfying enough to push you to clip it for Reddit or YouTube. Magic Archer is here again, but for the triple shot. If you get too close, you will get blasted in the face with the triple shot, which if it landed on the right mini, it just is one of the best feelings in the world. Next is the Saint Mirror, and this gizmo is stupid. Like, if you use that, your enemy will literally never be able to keep his ranged minis alive. However, getting a Battle Boxer connection is more insane. Sure, it may go to waste sometimes like other abilities, but when it hits, oh my god, where did everything go? The Inferno Warden Super being next is only logical, as her super keeps getting stronger and stronger, and you can literally feel your happiness levels increase with the damage increase. On the third place we have the Princess Super, and it isn't far off from the Battle Boxer, however it is more consistent. The fact that the enemies can't run away from it is very funny, and when the arrows go down, all you see is some red fire and the targets are suddenly nowhere to be seen. The second place goes to Cleave Pink Fury. Not only is it a chance to kill 3 massive tanks and getting an enormous amount of value, but also by doing so, you get 6 whole elixir with it at the same time. Finally, the first place goes to the monk fireball. You know damn well the fireball hitting things it wasn't supposed to hit is objectively the best feeling in the entire game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm not your mom. Do whatever you want, my dude.